All right, so now we're going to do some more derivatives and use the fact that I guess I can scroll back up here a little bit so you can see the box, at least initially. The derivative of a sine is cosine. The derivative of cosine is a negative sine, right? So here we have the difference of two functions with constant multiples as well. So we have the constant multiple of sine of t, right? So I can write h prime of t is equal to, right? It's a constant multiple. I'm going to hang on to that constant and then multiply times the derivative of sine of t, which is cosine of t. Okay. And now the next one is also a constant multiple of cosine. It's a difference. So it's going to be minus 8. Right, just hang on to that constant, and then the derivative of cosine is a negative sign. So I want to multiply this by a negative sign, which is going to turn this into a positive. It's going to turn this into plus, because when we subtract a negative, we get a positive. So I'm just going to turn that into plus. That's probably the easiest way to do it. Sine of t. Okay. All right. So let's go to the next one. I'm going to write it dy dx. The derivative is, the first thing I have is a constant, right? The derivative of a constant is 0, so I'll just leave that as it is. And then I have a negative 3. Derivative of sine is cosine. And then plus the derivative of this power function, 3x squared. And there we go. Easy as that. All right, the next one is a product, right? So let me just scroll down here a little bit. Now, if you like the Martelli method, we could put these values in a little matrix. We have x squared and the sine of x, and the derivatives are 2x and cosine of x. Right, and then we could do it that way. Now, you may get to the point where you can just write it directly. So when I do these derivatives, I just think to myself, I think, all right, I'm going to take the derivative of the first, right, times the second, and then plus the first times the derivative of the second. So, and then I don't bother with the box. Okay. So you can choose how you want to do that, but I know initially it helps sometimes to organize your work and think it through, but to draw the box. So, all right, let's do this. We have another product. We have another product. All right, so let's go ahead and we'll go ahead and draw the box here, and I have 5x and cosine of x. All right, so I'm going to take the derivative of each one. Derivative of 5x is 5, and then the derivative of cosine is a negative sine of x. All right, now, so the derivative f prime of x is going to be the derivative of the first times the second plus, now it's plus, but I know that when I multiply the derivative of sine, or the derivative of cosine is negative sine, and then when I multiply these two together, this diagonal right here, which is the first times the derivative of the second, I'm going to have plus a negative, so it's going to be minus. All right, so the first times the derivative of the second, right? And I'm just, instead of writing a plus, I'm going to write a minus because I know I am adding a negative, so I can change it to minus. All right, there we go. All right, so I guess feel free to stop and try these on your own. The next one is a quotient. It's a quotient. So again, we could draw our little box. We have sine of x, and we have e to the x. Derivative of sine is cosine of x, and the derivative of e to the x is e to the x. So now we can use the dA dx, and we use the quotient rule, right? So I always think low d high minus high d low. all over low squared. So that's e to the x squared. Okay. Now e to the x squared is e to the 2x, right? Because when I take a power to a power, I multiply the power. So I could have written e to the 2x, but this is fine. Okay. All right. Now let's do the last one here. I guess, yeah, I'll go ahead and draw the box for you. We have cosine of t and t squared. And the derivative of cosine is a negative sine of t, and this is 2t. Okay, so we can use the box, or use low d high minus high d low. Either way. All right, so we're going to have dr dt is our derivative, and so we have low d high. So now the d high has a negative, so I'm going to put that out front because I don't want it to look like subtraction, right? Because I'm multiplying low times d high. So because it's negative, I'm going to put the negative in front, right? Because I'm multiplying here. Minus, right? Minus high d low. Now, sometimes it's better to put the 2t out front, right? In front of the cosine, so that it's clear that it's not inside of the cosine function, right? This is 2t times cosine of t, right? And so then all over low squares, so t squared squared is going to be t to the 4th power. All right, there we go. So we're going to do some more practice in class, and that's what it takes, just more practice. So you're also getting practice with those product and quotient rules as well. So that's good. All right, I'll meet you in the next video for the next example.